Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Steve. I'm back with another video, and today we're going to be doing a double smoked brown sugar glazed ham. So stay tuned. So this is the star of the show. This is a 7.86 pound ham, and we're just going to get it set up to go on the smoker. And today we're going to be smoking this on the Pit Boss Kamado. So just a couple things we want to do. I'm just prepping it now. It's not ready to go on the smoker right this second, but there's a couple things that I want to do to kind of prepare it. So first I just want to cut some hash marks across the top. This will allow a little bit of the rub that I'm going to be using to penetrate a little further into the meat. So I did this ham, the last time I did this was Christmas, and I didn't record it. I kind of wish I had, but it really came out really good. So we decided to go for it again. Next I just want to hit this with a light layer of olive oil. And you don't have to do this part. I'm just putting, because I want to put a rub on here. However, you don't have to. This has already been smoked. That's why it's called double smoke. So it's already been smoked prior to you purchasing it. You're just basically smoking it again and bringing the internal temperature up. And we'll talk a little bit about that once we get out on the smoker. But I'm just putting this on here as a binder to hold the rub that I'm going to be using. And of course, I'm going to be using a little bit of SPG. Some folks are probably saying you probably don't need to use that, considering a ham already has salt in it. But that's the great thing about barbecue. Everybody can do what suits them, what tastes best to them. And then the main rub that I want to use on this, if I can get it on here, is this Lambert Sweet Rub of mine. And again, I'm just I like the flavor of this, and I like the additional color that it gives. It gives a nice red color, which will go perfect with the fact that we're going to be smoking this over some cherry wood. So at this point, I'm just going to kind of turn it over. Do a little bit here on the bottom, a little bit of olive oil, and repeat the same process. Now, what I want to do also is flip this back over, and I want to make sure I get some of this rub here down into the crevices that we made when we cut the little hash marks in the top. Because you do want some of that flavor to get down in there, and this is gonna, as the ham cooks, it is gonna shrink up a little bit. So those hash marks are really gonna open up and allow some good flavor penetration down in there. I'm gonna go ahead and put some plastic wrap on here. Alright, so while we have the ham chilling out in the fridge for a couple of hours before we throw it on the grill, I want to talk to you really quick about the ingredients that we're going to use to make this glaze. As I told you in the intro, this is a double smoked brown sugar glaze, so you already know one of the ingredients is going to be brown sugar. Now what you also are going to need is some honey. This is it. These are the only two ingredients that you'll need, and I'll go over the quantities once it's time to do that. But basically what we're going to do is combine these in a saucepan until they're completely in a sauce or glaze or liquid form. And then once the ham reaches a certain temperature, we're just going to baste it on there. We're going to baste it every couple minutes until A, the glaze is all gone, or B, the ham reaches the internal temperature that we're trying to reach, which is going to be 140 degrees. All right, so stay tuned. Next time I see you guys, I'll be heading out on the smoker with the ham, and we'll be ready to throw it on. So stay tuned. All right, so the temperature is holding right now at 250 degrees, or actually slightly above it, and it's holding right there. So we're just going to leave it right there. This is what you want to do. You want to preheat your grill to 250 degrees, and once it's there and it's been holding for a while, then you want to go ahead and put your ham on. And we're just going to set our ham on here. And normally in a lot of my cooks, you'll see me doing adding a water pan. But from what I'm hearing about the Kamados, because of the moisture retention abilities that they have, there's really not much of a need to add a water pan. So on this cook, we're not going to add one. What we are going to do is go ahead and put this temperature probe in here, because we want to monitor this. All right, so at this point we've got the ham on and it's going. We've got the grill set at 250, and we're just going to let this roll until it hits about 120 degrees. Like I said, I do have a temperature probe in here to monitor that. I'm using my iGrill Mini 2, and we're just going to let that roll. So while this is going, what we're going to do is go on back inside and mix up our brown sugar glaze, which consists of our brown sugar and honey. And so we'll have that ready. Now the thing is, you want to make that glaze right before it's time to put on the ham. That's why I said we're waiting right now for an internal temperature of about 120. So once we're getting a reading somewhere of around 110 or so, we're just going to go ahead and mix that up on the stove and have it ready for 120. And then from 120 to 140, we'll glaze, and then at 140 we'll take it off. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so after an hour, this is what it looks like. And I'm not sure about anybody else who has one of these types of grills. This is the Pit Boss Kamado, but they do seem to run a little high. I'm going to show you what I have my vents set at. As soon as I want to spritz this down just to get a little bit of moisture on here. Be careful not to get that probe. So right now, this is what my vent is set on. As you can see, it's barely open. And I just opened the lid, so it's not showing what it actually was. But right now, you can see that's at 250. And the top vent, barely open. Not even, maybe at half. You can see there, maybe at half. And right now you can see the temperature is still trying to climb back up to about 300 degrees. This has been the, I don't want to say problem, but this has been the only issue that I've had with it today. So I was anticipating it taking about 3 hours to be finished, but it looks like this is going to be done in way less time than that, considering that this grill wants to run so warm. But again, we'll be back in an hour and see how it looks. So stay tuned. Alright, so as we can see here, the iGrill Mini is showing 111 degrees. So we want to go ahead and get our brown sugar glaze mixed up. So what I've got right here is a saucepan that's already been preheated over the oven. What we're going to use to make this glaze, as I stated earlier, is just a real simple mix. We're going to use a half a cup of honey here. In addition to the half a cup of honey that we have here, we're also going to put in here a cup and a half of brown sugar. Alright, so here is a cup of it. And we got another half cup to go. Alright, so what we're going to do now is just stir this up, and we want to make sure that all of this gets all mixed up together. You want to make sure all of the brown sugar gets incorporated in with this honey, and you can see it's kind of getting a little sticky, so I just want to reduce the heat just a little bit. But this is why I said you want to make it as close as possible to when the ham is at 120 degrees. And the more you stir it and mix it in, the softer it gets. And once we get this all mixed in together here, what we're going to do is just take it out and start basting it on the ham. Alright guys, our temperature has hit 120 degrees, so we want to go ahead and start basting this. Look at this. You want to get this in here in all of these areas. And trust me, it may not look like, it may look really thick and like it's not melted much now, but as it gets in here, trust me, it's going to add a very nice glaze to this ham. And you want to try and use up all of this. You don't want, unless you have something else that you want to use this glaze on, you need to try and use all of this up because it's just going to harden up. It's already starting to now, so I'm going to have to finish this and get back inside and kind of warm it back up a little bit. Alright, so we'll be back in a little bit. Alright guys, our ham has hit 140 degrees, so let's take a look what we got. Looking good. Getting ready to go off and go in the house. Alright guys, so it's been off the grill now for about half an hour or so, so I'm going to go ahead and unwrap it and then slice it up and do a taste test. And it's still pretty warm under this foil. Look at that. Alright, before I get too far into slicing this up and tasting it and all of that, just a quick recap of what I did is took this ham, defrosted it the day before, and then put it in the refrigerator. This morning I took it out, put a little olive oil over it, and then put some rubs on it. On this one I put SPG and some Lambert's sweet swine of mine. Put it back in the fridge for a couple of hours until it was time to go on the smoker. And the reason for that is, according to a lot of barbecue experts, they say that cold meat, it's easier for a smoke to adhere to cold meat than it is for room temperature meat. So that's why we did that. We put this on, smoked it till it reached an internal temperature of 120 degrees. At that time, we put our brown sugar and honey mixture, our brown sugar and honey glaze. We started glazing it over the ham, and we did it 3 times. Once at 120 degrees, once at 130, and then the last time we glazed it was at 135 degrees. And we smoked this. The ideal temperature for this is 250 degrees until it reaches an internal temperature of 140 degrees. So because I initially overshot my temps when setting it a little bit, I ended up smoking at about 300 to 325. Total time was about 2.5 hours, and I smoked it over a couple of chunks of cherry wood. So you can see it's got a really nice color. Part of that is from the cherry wood, and then the other part is from the rub that we put on there. So what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and slice it up, do a quick taste test, and get out of here. No, I do not have a super fancy knife like a lot of other YouTubers have, where they spend, you know, 100, 150 bucks on a knife. I'll just use my $10 Black & Decker electric knife. It does the same job. So what we're gonna do is just all right, so we got 3 slices here. I'm just gonna go with this middle piece. This is still very, very hot. So this is our ham right here. You can see it came out really, really nice. It's got nice color. I happened to taste a little bit of the glaze just as I was cutting it there, and man, it tastes really, really good. You have very nice, not overpowering flavor of or aroma of the pecan wood. Really, really comes through here. And like I said, I did this ham at Christmas. This time it was even better. Sorry about talking with my mouth full, but it is part of the video. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions or comments, please leave that down in the comment section below. Please do hit that subscribe button, as it really does help this channel out a lot. And if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and don't be afraid or forget to share it with others. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.